Hi guys, welcome to my home and my kitchen. I wanted to take this opportunity to show you how easy it is to bake our biscotti with our Bella's mix. Also, 2 eggs at room temperature, which is extremely important, and softened butter. Normally when you would make biscotti, you would cream the butter and sugar first, but in this instance, the sugar is already contained inside the mix. So we're gonna go ahead and start creaming the butter in the mixture, in the bowl. And you want to get every last bit out. And you can see how soft that butter really is. And once the butter mixes up and whips a little bit, you're going to continue now to pour the egg one at a time. And raise up the speed just a little bit. You want to get the eggs and the butter fully incorporated before you put the mix in. Sometimes I like to tilt the bowl up a little bit on a stand mixer. And sometimes you need to scrape down the sides, but this butter was nice and soft and the eggs were nice and warm, so it didn't chill the butter and make it stick to the side of the bowl. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour in our entire mix for our biscotti right inside the bowl. And we're doing the caramel mocha. And now we're gonna start at speed 1, just so you don't have a big flour mess. And gradually increase the speed. You want to be careful not to overmix, but you need to get this combined really well so you can work with it. And you can start to see our caramel bits and our mix starting to incorporate with the eggs and the butter. Gradually turn up until about this consistency. You can now see that there is a nice cohesive mixture inside of the bowl. So at this stage, what I'd like to do is make sure everything's mixed really well. And I'm gonna turn it out onto my countertop. Now I have some flour here. Sometimes you need it and sometimes you don't. So I'm gonna hold off and not use it right away. We're gonna clean the paddle. And this is just a regular paddle. I wouldn't use the whisk because I think the dough will be too heavy for the whisk. So if you have a stand mixer, I would go ahead and use the paddle. Oh, that's the oven. I have it all heated up on 350 degrees. And you want to get every bit of dough out of the bowl. And it comes out pretty easily. So this may look dry to you, but all you have to do is just knead it just a little bit. Biscotti is a very labor-intensive art, but it's made with very simple ingredients. So we're just gonna make one log this big. And what I like to do, because I know 3 logs will fit on top of my sheet that I've already prepared with parchment paper. And you can use spray. You don't have to use, if you don't have parchment, you can just use spray. And what I'm going to do is cut this loaf into 3 equal parts, because I know there will be 3 loaves that will eventually fit on the tray. So you're just going to take your mix, and it comes together quite easy. And you're just going to start rolling and squeezing the log together. And you're just going to keep rolling. And you want to achieve about a 1-inch wide log. Now, you don't have to make it perfect. See, it even sometimes falls apart. And that's okay, because it goes right back together. When you make biscotti, the logs don't have to be perfect because you're going to bake them and then you're going to take them out of the oven and bake them again. So there's about what it should look like. So I'm going to continue and do all three, although this dough looks a little bit bigger. So I'm just gonna cut a little piece off. You can always make a log. If it's too long, you can take a chunk off. That's no problem. It's very forgiving. And it's okay if you work with it with your hands like this. So you're just gonna do light pressure. And there you go. So that's another log. That one fit a little bit better on the pan. And an inch or two apart. They don't grow so big. They do grow a little bit, but they don't get super, super flat. And this one I have a feeling is gonna be a little bit bigger than the other two. So I might cut a little chunk off and attach it to the shorter one. And there we go. Actually, that fits pretty perfect. So I'm just gonna leave it. And like I said, it's not hard to do. It's just a little time consuming. So we're gonna take this. Now I didn't need my flour at all, which is good because you don't wanna over flour them because they will, if you have too much flour on them, they will show after they bake, they'll have the flour still on them. So you're gonna take this pan and you're gonna put it in a 350-degree oven just for about 20 to 30 minutes. And I will show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. So we're gonna walk on over to our oven and we're gonna put it in here and then we're gonna take it out in about 30 minutes. It's been about 20 to 30 minutes and the loaves are done baking. They have a little bit of softness still to them, but they are firm to the touch, just like a regular cookie would be. So we're gonna take them out now and put them on the countertop. And biscotti has to cool before you start handling it again. Biscotti in Italian means twice baked. So we're gonna bake these again, so I left the oven running. So like I said, 10 minutes on your countertop, and when they're ready to cut, you'll be able to handle them without burning yourself. The biscotti is all ready to cut, and it's cool enough where I can just lift up the loaves. So I started to cut the other two loaves here, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is. What I use is a regular standard bread knife, and it's a serrated edge. And if it's nice and sharp, your biscotti is less likely to break. So you're gonna do about a 1/2 inch on a little bit of a diagonal. That's traditionally how a biscotti is cut. And then we're gonna take the little pieces. These little ends are what we use in the bakery as our nibbles. And they're my favorite part of the biscotti. And we're gonna go ahead and lay them cut side up or down on a baking sheet. And I use the same baking sheet. Just be careful that your fingers are not in the way of cutting. You just wanna kind of make a claw. And this knuckle is what prevents you from going over the thickness. So if you just move your hand back with your knife, you're less likely to cut yourself and you'll have nice even slices. So I'm gonna go ahead here and you can see this particular mix is our caramel mocha, and you can see all the yummy caramel bits melting and the chocolate chips too. So this is, and it has some coffee inside of the mix as well. And there you go. So I'm gonna pop this back in the oven. You can lower the temperature or leave it at 350 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that temperature, and it's gonna toast at this stage for about 20 more minutes. So I went ahead and removed them from the oven and let them cool a little bit. This was about 20 to 30 minutes in the oven again. And now they're nice and crunchy. So you wanna toast the biscotti so they're crunchy right through and through. You don't want anything in the middle to be a little soft. And I like the ends, like I said, they're nice and crunchy. They're the crunchiest part. So if you love what we do with our mixes, we have 4 different kinds we launched right now. The kind that we just made was a caramel mocha biscotti. We have a cherry almond biscotti, which is absolutely delicious. It's made with tart cherries that are dried and roasted almonds. We also have 2 kinds of our brownies. We have a decadent chocolate brownie with chocolate chips, and we have our walnut brownie as well. So if there's some more ideas and people really love this and our customers rave about it, we're gonna go ahead and make up some more varieties for you guys to try at home. So I hope this has helped you learn how to make biscotti. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen.